All right. Welcome to day 30, man. Day 30. 1 month out here in a tent, man. Living in a tent. I gave away all my possessions, kind of moved out here into a tent, kind of homeless by choice in the wild, man. Minimalist tent living. Just trying to show myself and be an example to others that, like, you can be happy anywhere, and it's not really dependent upon the things that we have, right? And I'm surprised at really how comfortable I am out here. And I said I'm going to do 60 days, but I'm into it 30. It's really going to be a little more than 60 because I'm going to go to the first of the year at least, right? And I don't have any plans for after that, but I am committed to at least that long. And I'm wearing a sweatshirt today, and sweatshirt says time is a currency we can spend once, right? And I want to know your guys' thoughts on that, man. It's a little cold out here, that's why I got the sweatshirt on, but it's really not cold. But it's been like high 40s, low 50s. It's been beautiful weather, right? Like perfect camping weather, man. But Florida, you see people out there in their winter coats, man. And I got a hoodie on right now just because I woke up with a t-shirt on all day. But I am getting a little sick, right? And a little bit of a cold and a little nasally and a little itchy throat and kind of a chest cough. So, but I feel pretty good, man. A lot of people have been reaching out to me saying, hey, are you freezing out there? And I'm like, man, it's super, super comfortable, man. A little bit, it's kind of, I don't know, man. It's kind of like, really comfortable. Like I'm not talking about physically comfortable. I'd rather have a bed than a cot, but it's like, it's crazy how quick we can get used to something and say, like, what the heck did I wait this long to do this for, man? Because it's really, my life hasn't changed a whole lot. If anything, it's gotten even more blessed, right? So I haven't been on here a couple days, but I want to know your guys' thought on the sweatshirt, man. Like, and I guess we can make a discussion on that, man. But I have so many things I want to talk about, and I want to talk about that first. And I'll just take a couple minutes because it's like really, like, our time is our most valuable currency, right? And it doesn't matter what you do with it. Are you enjoying the currency that you are spending, right? Your time. Are you enjoying your time? And please comment. I want to know that, because, like, really, it's that simple. It's like this time is our most valuable currency, and can never get it back. And it doesn't matter what you're doing, so long as you're enjoying it, right? We all have a little bit different outlook on life, and some people like to fish, some people like to bowl, some people like to spend time in nature, some people like to dance, right? Some people like art, some people like isolation, some people like people. And it's like if it's our most valuable currency, and I'm not saying you could do the things that you want to do all the time. I understand people have to work, and I understand people have to provide and things of that nature, but are you spending enough of that valuable currency doing the things that you really enjoy doing and enjoying this experience? And I think most people are not, and I was not most of my life, and I still, it's not about doing things for me anymore, right? I try to just enjoy whatever I'm doing, and it doesn't matter what that is, right? It doesn't matter if it's work or being of service. It's not all the time that I want to go do things for people, right? Like, so my friend was down from Tennessee, and I went and had dinner with him Monday night, and then yesterday I watched my grandkids all morning and into the early afternoon, about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock or something like that, and I wasn't expecting to see my friend again, and then I get a phone call that plans kind of changed for him, and he didn't have a ride to the airport, and it's about an hour and a half ride to the airport for me, and he's a good hour north of me. So it was like, I don't want to go do this, right? Like, I just got done helping somebody all day or watching my grandkids or being of service in that way. And now I got to go be of service again. I want to do a video. And it's like, wow, man, why do I still react that way, right? We're all human, man. But I do. And I went and I enjoyed it. And we got to spend some more time with my friend. But it's like that first reaction, right? It's like, I think that's normal for most of us, right? And I don't know if that ever goes away. Doesn't matter how spiritual we think we are, right? Like, but it's so it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I didn't get to spend any time to myself, man, and like, oh, poor me, I need some me time, and it's never about that. It's never been about me, and it never will be about me. But man, your mind wants to switch real quick and say like, I got things I want to accomplish, right? So I give and I give and I give and I give. And when somebody needs me, I show up, man. And that's how I spend my time, right? And I actually enjoy it. Like even though my mind wants to say, you're not going to enjoy this, right? I go and do it, and I'm in charge of my mind. My mind's not in charge of me, right? So it's like, it's this perspective change, and I went and did it, and then got to spend some more time with one of my closest friends on the planet, man. So it was really cool, man. And then on the way back, right, this is how you get blessed in life, right? This is why you get blessed, man. Somebody called me who I never would have thought in a million years would have called me, right? And she asked if I could talk, and said sure. And I had about an hour ride home from the airport, and we talked the entire time. And she's struggling a little bit, and and as much as I want to talk about my sweatshirt, I want to bring in a conversation that, right? It's like somebody who's been around a little while, right? And understands, like, recovery, or like the nature of suffering, and has thrown herself into this, solution or whatever, and just it isn't clicking for whatever reason, right? And it's like, understands the verbiage, but we're all delusional, right? Even me. And I know, don't take offense to that, but it's truth, man. It's like, we're all delusional, right? And we're having this conversation, and I remember her saying something. She's like, well, I'm somebody who prides myself on my autonomy, right? My individuality. And I'm like, okay. And as we're having this conversation, and it's not me telling anybody anything, it's just like, how are you an individual? Tell me what your autonomy looks like, right? And it's like, because we all say, like, I'm my own person, and I know myself intrinsically, and nobody lies to you like we lie to us, right? Like, so I'm asking, and I'm like, just asking questions, and I'm like, well, we say we want to be individuals, but then we got to have our Gucci handbag because everybody else has a Gucci handbag, right? So we gotta comb our hair a certain way, we gotta look a certain way because that's what the masses are doing. We gotta fit in somehow, right? So it's a lie we tell ourselves that we want to be autonomous, right? We want to be individuals, and we're very self-aware, but then we're we're doing what everybody else is doing, man, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm aware when I'm aware, right? Like, I don't know what I don't know, but once I know it, I can't unknow it, right? I know it forever, and I still lie to myself. So and that's the nature of ego, right? It's like we say, I'm not afraid of anything, or I'm not selfish, but we're all selfish, and we're all full of fear, right? And it clicked with this person, right? It clicked, and it's like, oh my God, you're right. Like, it's just what we tell ourselves, and it's untrue, right? And I'm not saying that you're not unique, and I'm not saying that we're not, the duality of life doesn't mean that we're not individual, and nobody has the same perspective as you. Nobody has ever had the same perspective because they haven't seen life the same as you've seen it. They haven't experienced the same things that you've experienced. So in that context, we are unique. But are we celebrating that, or are we really cursing that? Like, nobody's walked in my footsteps. Like, nobody understands poor little old me, right? And we're right in that regard, because nobody has walked in our footsteps. But we're not celebrating our uniqueness. We're cursing it, right? We're cursing it. We all have more in common with each other than we will ever give credence to, right? And it doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, American, Middle Eastern, right? It doesn't matter, man. That's just a construct, right? And an idea. It's a belief, right? Like, that I am different. But fundamentally, we're not, right? And I'll use this analogy, man, because I think it's pretty cool, and I hope you've watched to this point, because this kind of makes sense a little bit, right? Like, imagine, so it's like, I'll use a couple of analogies. First of all, I'll say, like, it's like if God is the ocean, we're all droplets of water, right? And we're all like running around trying to say, like, where's God? How can I find God, right? And it's like, we can't even see that we think we're different than the other droplet of water, but we're all we're all the ocean, right? We are all of it. So, but I love this analogy a little bit better. It's like, we're all ice cubes, and we're all in different trays, and some of us are bigger and smaller, some of us are smoother, and some of us have chips, some of us have more chlorine or iron in the water, and we're judging all the other ice cubes, and we're like, I'm strong because I'm bigger than you, or like, whatever the scenario is, man. Each and every single one of us is unique ice cube. But once we get in that, we're all going to dissolve right into the glass of water, right? Like, you drop us in the water and we're fighting over who's different. I'm white, I'm black, I got more iron, I'm stronger than you, I'm Viking, I'm Irish, I'm Italian, I'm, Greek, whatever it is. And then we're all dissolving right back into the source, man, into the water, into the God, right? Like, and so we're all the same. We just appear different, and that's duality, right? Like, we appear like we're different, but in the core of us, this vehicle is different, right? It appears different, but it's just a vehicle, man. All our cars are different, but they all drive, right? Like, this vehicle appears different, but at its core, what opens my eyes, which gives me breath, gives you breath, and opens your eyes, right? And it's trying to touch that, and it's trying to realize that when I'm looking at you, I'm seeing God, or I'm seeing the universe, or I'm seeing me, right? Like, because I try to look past the differences and see the similarities, man. I try to see the presence that opens your eyes, and not just your eyes, right? I try to see that no matter who you are, what you are, a tree, an animal, a plant, right? We are all come from that one source. And we're all going to dissolve back into that source. At least I think we are, and I could tell you this, and you can watch videos all you want, and you can read books all you want, but the only way to really know that, the only way to really, really feel the connection to everything, is to stop, slow down, stop your body, breathe, look within, quiet the noise, ask those fundamental questions like, am I so different? Am I different? Is there many of us, or is there one, right? Am I autonomous? Am I an individual? Or are we all part of some collective? And the beauty of it is, it's not, we always think like, well, I don't want to kill this persona, right? This image or this thing that I think I am, but you're not. Now you get to celebrate it, right? Now you get to really, really celebrate it. You get to say like, wow, we are all this one thing. We are all connected. We are all going to dissolve. We all came from this and we're all going to dissolve back into this. And I'm not that unique and special, but now you could say, but I am. Now that I'm aware of this, right? Now that I'm over the delusion that it's just poor little old me here, and that I'm connected to this eternal source, right? And that I am not separate from that. I am that at my core, and I've been given this vehicle to experience that. Watch out, man, because now it's like, bing, now it's like, I'm not going to take this for granted ever again. I'm going to like experience this vehicle as much as I can. I'm gonna live through this vehicle because it's such a freaking gift, man. It is such a gift, man. It is not this like, oh, I just got to get through life and suffering. It is such a gift, man. It is like, now you can be unique, man. Now you could say it doesn't matter. If I want a Gucci handbag, I get one, but I'm getting it because I like it. I'm not getting it to fit in with everybody else. I don't care if they ever see it, right? I want it because, like, I'm here to experience this absolute miracle of life and then dissolve back into source, man, right? Like, and it's like you've been given this absolute joy. Just got to be aware of it, man, and we're all delusional, right? So I'll finish it up with this story, man, of how we can lie to ourselves, right? Like, I've been on this spiritual journey for a little while, and I've been sober for a little while, right? And it doesn't really matter the times or dates, right? It's like I've had this change of perspective for a while, right? And I went on this quest where I was looking for everything, and then I just realized the looking for that was keeping me from experiencing this, right? So but anyway, last year I went to this I went to this New Year's Eve dance, right? And it was kind of a recovery based function, so it was a bunch of people who were sober. And I don't usually do things like that. So I walk in there and I'm like, I see people enjoying themselves and dancing, and I tell myself, and I'm like, and I'm a pretty consider myself a pretty self-aware, right? Somebody who's very much reading the signs of the universe and like trying to live a spiritual life. And I walk in there and I'm like talking to somebody, and I'm like, my arms are probably crossed like they are now, and I'm talking to someone, and I'm like, wow, like, look at all these people just like dancing sober. I'm like, I'm still socially awkward sober, right? I'm like, I don't know how to like just dance like sober. Like, it still feels weird to me, right? Like, after all these years, and they were, affirming that, like, yeah, me too. And I'm like, and I've been in therapy my whole life, and I'm like, I have avoidant attachment disorder, so it's still uncomfortable, like, being around people, and I like, I like my autonomy of being an introvert sometimes, right? Which, no big deal, right? The night ends, I end up leaving early probably, right? And a couple weeks later, I'm at this conference or whatever, and it's kind of the same thing. After the conference is kind of over, it's this hotel, and the music comes on, and there's people out there dancing, and I say this a lot, like, that we can learn from everybody, right? And this is a fact of how you learn from people. And there's this guy that had like 59 days, man, 59 days in recovery, right? And I look over, and I'm telling somebody, regurgitating the same things I said before, like, I'm socially awkward, like sober still, and I have avoidant attachment disorder, and all these things that my mind tells me I have, right? And that other people told me I have. And I see this kid, and it's no disrespect to him at all, man. I love this guy absolutely to death. But it's how we know when we know, right? And he's out there, excuse me, he's out there dancing, right? And he's just having a blast, man. And he's like doing this sprinkler dance and just like being a goofball, right? And as I'm regurgitating to this somebody, it hits me, right? And it's this awareness, this awakening, and it's like, I'm not socially awkward sober. I don't have avoidant attachment disorder. I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I'm going to get out there and dance and look dumb to other people, right? And it's like, it just, when it comes on you, it comes on you. And I'm like, wow. Years of therapy, years of like telling myself these lies, right? This delusion that like, this is why I am the way I am. And in an instant, I become self-aware that I'm just afraid, man. So what do you do when you finally realize that you're afraid? What do you do when you finally realize that you're lying to yourself? I went out there and danced. And I danced even more like just an idiot. Excuse me, the train, man. The only way to get over fear is, first of all, you have to be aware of it. And we could say we're self-aware all we want. But even Carl Jung says it, right? One of the greatest psychiatrists of the last century. It's almost impossible to be honest with yourself and with others, right? We could say we're self-aware all we want, but we don't know what we don't know. And once we know it, we can never unknow it, right? So all of those things are lessons, and we awaken when we're ready to awaken, man, and not before, right? So that's just a powerful example of how the delusion is still there. I'm under no illusion that I'm not delusional, right? Like, I try to be self-aware. I try to look within. I try to say, why am I uncomfortable in this? Why do I do this? Why am I not dancing? Or why am I not dating? Or whatever it is. Whatever it is. And it usually comes down to being afraid, right? And being afraid you're going to be judged, or being afraid you're going to be rejected, right? Or being afraid people are going to look at you like you're different or weird or whatever, right? And it's like, so we conform to everybody else and hide things about us that we don't like, right? And here's the beauty of it. If we're all come from that source, and that source is infinitely perfect and doesn't make any mistakes, you're not a mistake, and none of your past experience are mistakes. They're all just experiences that lead us to this point, to where we are now. And when you awaken from that, now you can celebrate your autonomy, because there is nobody like you. And there is nobody who will ever be like you. There is nobody who will ever go through the exact same experiences you have. So you who are invaluable in terms of what you have to offer people, right? And what you have to bring to the table. And it's a blessing that you got to experience this. It's not a curse, man. And it doesn't matter what you've been through. It's not like you are damned, right? It is like you are from that source, and you will return to that source in one fashion or another, right? This vehicle will disintegrate, it will dissolve. And what happens to us when that happens is, a matter of opinion and choice, or a matter of opinion and realization. Let's say that, right? Self-realize. I can't tell you. You have to experience this. Now I'm telling you this, but it is of no use to you until it comes from you, right? And then it'll click. I get it now, right? So once you realize that you are a part of that source, or that source, that singular source, gifted the experience of seeing it separately and individually and uniquely, wow. But your ego wants to keep pulling you back, right? And say, I have to protect this body, right? and this individuality. And celebrate it, man. Celebrate that uniqueness, man, that you are. I appreciate you guys. And I said a lot, and I don't know what I said. 25 minutes, man. I hope you guys watch to the end. Please hit like, please share, please subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. I don't care if you agree with me or not, right? Even if you wholeheartedly disagree, man, let me know your thoughts, man. If you resonate with the video or you did not. And you can celebrate this, and you can be autonomous, and you can be unique, but know that, like, you're going to dissolve into that water, and we're all the same. We may appear different, but we're all dissolving into that water. We're all us ice cubes are going right back to the water. Appreciate you guys. Love. Day 30. All right.